What's up, dude? How was your week?
It's yours. Don't mind if I eat my lunch while we're chatting.
Ah, go for it.
Starving.
Yeah, I was early part of this week. I was like, yeah, dude, let's get back on it. Let's get back on the what is it? The ungetting fat process.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's just say getting healthier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I had Burger King on Tuesday.
It happened.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't good. It wasn't my finest moment. Hadn't had Burger King in quite a while, and I was like, dude, I need a Baconator or whatever the heck they call it. And then I ate it, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's pretty gross, actually. So I felt pretty bad about myself, but whatever.
It's weird how you crave it, and then when you eat it, you're like, this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Nah, no, not at all.
But
Yeah,
then when
so
you sent me that picture, was that steak or was that tuna?
that was tuna.
Yeah. Then when you eat that, you're like, this is what food is supposed to taste like.
Right. Right. It
It's
wasn't like
bizarre.
the next day, because obviously you got to process the stuff. And the next day I was, processing it. And it just felt like something was wrong in my guts.
Just a rock.
Yeah.
Just a rock just
Yeah.
sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's horrible. And so anyway, it's just one of those, like, obviously don't do that. So anyway,
But next week you'll do it again.
no, I'm not, I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm gonna stay away because I got into back into my rhythm of things and put my whoop back on.
It happens, man. Yeah, I have yet to take mine off.
Yeah,
And the only reason I got this, is because of you. You're
uh-oh.
like, you should get it. I'm like, okay. And I haven't. And I've got 2 watch boxes
Yeah.
full of watches. Like, we're
But
talking Movados, Invictas. This is what I wear.
yeah, it's
I wear
weird.
this.
I almost wish they would put time on it, and then it would be perfect.
A little bit, but I also like the simplistic nature of them
Yeah.
because then you're not doing this all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You just
try to
kind
stay off my app on the phone too, because I get a little bit like, ooh, what's the strain at today, and this type of thing.
yeah,
But yeah, even there, you got to kind of stay away from that a little bit. Otherwise, you're getting that strain game, and that's not kind of what's going to work in the long
or
run.
just any game. You just are constantly checking numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? Analysis paralysis?
Mm-hmm.
It goes. Yeah. So yeah,
And if
this.
you've ever watched your heart rate and you try and control your heart rate while watching it, it always goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I was, let's see. So I got back into working out, after like 3 months of not working out,
Been
uh,
there.
there's been a lot of things going on in my personal life that's been kind of stressful. So there's some reasons, but that's fine. And
It
anyway,
happens to the best of us.
yeah, exactly. And that's one of those things where, real life, right? Like I'm not gonna hate on skinny people on this show that we're doing. This what is it? What do we decide to call it? Chubby Racer show?
You can want to be Ken, fat shaming, whatever.
Yeah, want to be Ken dolls.
Want to be Ken doll.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And
Yeah, no worries.
I don't even want to talk to the audience. Like I told you earlier this week. I mean, the audience, if they want to watch, fine.
Right here.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to do this because
Like we're sitting at the track. This bullshit.
right.
Yep.
So yeah, I was earlier in the week. I was getting back into things, and first thing I always do is I go back to and I start with legs. That's the legs feed the wolf, as they say. All the fanciness. But anyway, legs are like foundationally one of the things you have to be training. No matter what you're doing, I don't care any sport. Legs have to happen unless you're playing. I don't know. I can't even think of one. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so legs, right? So, yeah, and I got on the. I'm trying to do building muscle, which is obviously the powerhouse of your basal metabolic rate, which is
Mhm.
the thing that helps you burn more, if you will, or just cost more to
Right.
keep out basically. I got on the cycler there that I have, and I put my phone down. We're getting back to this whoop heart rate thing is where it's going. And I plugged my phone into the TV so that I could watch a GP race while I'm pedaling, right? And so I just put on cycling and just stuck it up there. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna do zone 2. So I just got into it and I was like, real chill. I mean, like the pace was like this with the wheels, wasn't pushing it, right? And after a while, it's got this like cyclist seat on it, so it's really narrow thing. It's painful up in the nether regions.
Uncomfortable for us people.
Yeah, it's not good. So I would like stand up on the pedals, standing up, but just really just pedal like this. I'm telling you, man, not hard at all. I get off
Right.
that, and I had done like 182 beats peak, and like spent 38 minutes in zone 4 of 5, And I was like, oh my gosh, man, I am so out of shape. My body's like screaming at me when I'm going really slow. So just things that you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be a long road.
It is. And I don't know about you, but I've been on that road for years,
Yeah,
decades,
it's been
decades.
it's been decades for me too. Yeah, I mean, maybe
So
it was less so in my younger years, but yeah, and that's and we had talked about this before. And if I'm talking too much, just interrupt me. It's fine.
you're good.
But like we're not small people, you know. And small people like to come up and say, "Well, all you got to do is
Uh-huh.
spit off some random bunch of facts," and they're totally right, probably. But I don't think they understand what it is to be. For me, anyway, I know I have been 100 pounds overweight. I'm probably like 80 plus away from
Right.
where I could be and be normal. I'm not even talking like 5% body fat. I'm talking a walk
Just
around 15%.
right.
So I'll say 100 pounds, right? If people haven't lived at over 100 pounds,
They don't get it.
you don't understand what life is like. Like when you go past and you can smell Burger King because they put those stupid scent burner things. It's not even the real food, by the way. You drive past a Burger King and you smell it. It's not them grilling. It's
It's
literally,
science.
yeah, it's chemicals being lit off on a freaking thing on the roof, and it goes out a chimney. Like
Yeah,
look,
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
yes, it's dude. And so anyway, that stuff is made so you go, oh, and you go in there. So any type of food for us that normal people are like, yeah, just have it in moderation. It's almost like you kind of can't when you've been eating badly for so long. And I'm not trying to say that it's not my fault.
No, no, but I agree with you. I agree with you. There's something between. So I don't know about you, but with me, if I eat carbs are my biggest downfall. I will just eat and eat and eat.
Oh
There's
yeah.
like a disconnect from my brain and my stomach saying, hey, like, we're good until you go, I'm about to puke.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I should probably quit. Now, if I have a steak, uh, after I eat the steak, I'm like, okay, like I'm satiated.
You're right. That's that word, satiation, satisfaction. Yeah,
Yeah, you're just
carbs,
chasing the dragon.
right. And carbs are, I'm not going to say they're all equal. Obviously, there's goods in there as well. But in general, nowadays, when you go to, well, let's just talk about the grocery store, right? So when you and I go to a grocery store, we're drawn to the middle of it. Like think about what's in the middle aisles, right?
No, it's just junk.
And that's all junk, yeah. So even if you go around the edges and you see all the meat's usually on the back wall, the deli's on one side and like frozen's on the other side, right? So kind of if you just go to the edges, you're going to do generally speaking better than if you went up and down
It's
the
supposed to
aisles.
be healthier food, right?
Right. And that should say something that why is most of the store this like unhealthy um selection? It's pretty wild. But
Definitely.
that's the world we live in. So and unfortunately for some people like us, and being a bigger guy and being able to create and maintain fat cells is actually your body's self-defense mechanism. Been watching a lot of guys, a lot of scientists about this kind of stuff, and it's funny because like those people, those massively obese people, I mean like 1,000 pound club, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those people most of the time will not have diabetes or
Mm,
heart disease. It's crazy, but their body's inflammation, which is what creating fat
right.
cells is literally protecting them from what they're doing.
Right.
And unfortunately, you're right. That whole carb thing, and they have to eat a stupid amount of food because they're big. Like most people, when you're bigger, you do have a larger caloric need. So
Right.
yeah, there's that problem. And then of course, carbs in themselves create energy, and then we have our basal metabolic rate and such like that. So now we're on this carb thing, and carbs burn fast, like gasoline on a fire,
Yeah.
not that oak log, which is what a
Yeah.
steak.
You can eat Chinese food, and then by the time you leave, you're like, God, I'm hungry.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it is. And I was telling my wife, I was like, you gotta almost treat this like an addiction. And
Well, that's
she's
what it is.
it
It's a
is
food
it really
addiction.
is.
It's a
Yeah,
food addiction.
exactly. And I hate to say it like that because you feel a little bit kind of like weak or something like,
Right.
but no, it's like a food addiction. So you literally have to stay away. Like you wouldn't give a crackhead or a recovering crackhead, hey man, it's okay. Like once a week, just light up. You'll be all right.
Right. You'll be all right.
It doesn't work. I mean, when
Mm.
you're on the path of trying to get somewhere, you get somewhere that's different, but on the path to get there, it doesn't really work. So that's,
I tell people I have an unhealthy relationship with food
yeah,
because it is. It's not a healthy relationship that I have with food. I mean, it's toxic.
it is what it is. Yeah. It's a toxic relationship. Yeah.
I'm in a toxic relationship.
I'm in a toxic, boy, we could put that on Facebook. In a toxic relationship with food.
With food. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Put your relationship status in a toxic relationship with food. I might go do that.
But yeah, like, going and racing and stuff like that, obviously being big doesn't help either. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm trying to go fast, go faster, all this kind of stuff.
And I was talking to a friend of mine about it and how, I mean, as you and I have grown to know each other, you can tell like I'm not a selfish person. Like I'm more than willing to help anybody I can with whatever I can. And I've learned for whatever reason, I can't go to the gym for me.
Right.
Like I have to have a reason, whether it's I'm trying to go faster or I don't know, just pick something. Like, but it's never like I'm going so I'm healthier for me.
Yeah, you almost feel selfish if you do that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's an odd one. So you got to kind of figure out. So that's where, and I hate this term, buddy. Because it woke America, but this whole like self-love thing,
Yeah.
that goes down a lot of wrong roads. Okay, there's a lot of bad things that go down there, but at some point you do have to kind of go, I need to stop trying to commit suicide by 1,000 cuts and start trying to like, okay, this
Putting
is
some bandages on them.
yeah, this is important. I'm doing this for when I'm 65 or whatever.
Right.
Version
Right.
of
So
that.
I can hang out with my grandkids, or for me, kids. Like I don't have any kids.
Yeah, and that's a good one. There's a guy I follow on Instagram. His name is Ben something, but he does this like alpha dad stuff. It's fantastic. I actually have my other computer up as we're sitting here. I'm gonna look for him.
I'll pull him up too.
Yeah, Ben. Starts his last name is a B something. Ben Burr. Crap, I can't spell when I'm sitting here talking to you.
Don't you hate that whenever you're trying to look something up and then like your boss shows up?
Hey, yeah, Ben Barker is his name. But he does this alpha dad stuff, and his whole shtick is literally just about, hey dads, be there for your kids. Have your kids be 27 and scared to lose a foot race to you.
Right.
And I'm like, man, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like he's almost like a Goggins.
Yeah, but not in that kind of really
not as aggressive,
annoying, aggressive way. Yeah, I mean, he's a cool dude. Faith-based, so he brings in the Bible into everything, which
That's
is always
good.
Yeah, always good. Yeah, like I mean, like this one, like what is this? I'm 7 posts into his thing, and he's like, "Dads, sprints build muscle, aid in fat loss, and are a powerful display of neighborhood dominance." It's a video of him sprinting down his street, his local street. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That's where it needs to be. So that's where his motivation is, and obviously the guy probably has the time and ability to spend most of his life at home working out. 178,000 followers. He's a fitness guy. So
that's the other thing is the time.
Yeah, the time. So there's less.
But it's also just an excuse.
Well, but it's there. It's there. We live a life, right? Like, so I have 7 kids, and I have a job, and I'm trying to finish my college degree. I'm coming into my 6th year of night school for my college degree. So, yeah, time's precious.
Got a full plate.
I get it. Maybe yours is less complicated, but you still have obligations.
My life is not complicated.
But you still have obligations, and yeah, if you want to go do something.
I mean, it's like I go to work and I come home
Well, I mean, there's still things.
I have a very, I've somehow, some way, I've created a very simple, well, as of now, I've created a very simplistic life for myself. Now, again, I don't have any children.
Well, and that's where, okay, so if you want to have kids someday, I assume. Um, now you're like, okay, so in whatever 20 years, I have this idea of, having a family. Not that it would be 20 years from now, but like you'll
Right,
be knee
right,
deep in a family at that point. Maybe that's for you. You got to think about that and go like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm
right,
doing this for my future spouse, my future kids. Like
right,
that's you going to the gym by yourself, but for
right,
somebody else.
right,
So
right. But it's just interesting. I don't have a complicated life at all. But for whatever reason, I'm just like, nah, I'll go tomorrow. And then tomorrow never comes, right? Like
yeah, I
tomorrow never shows up.
told somebody at work, he's a bigger guy, and he was talking about, he's like, hey man, come the first of the year, because it's December. First of the year, man, we have a gym at work, and he's like, I'm gonna get in there first of the year. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Why don't you come back now? It's like
Yes, like,
December.
what's wrong with tomorrow? Right? Like,
Yeah, he's like, no, I gotta start on Monday. I'm like, dude, if you're not gonna start today, you're not gonna start on Monday. If you don't start on Monday, you ain't gonna be here January. And guess what?
right.
This was last year this time. It didn't happen. And I'm not trying to be harsh on him. That's life. If you're willing to go, well, tomorrow, then you're right. Tomorrow never comes.
Tomorrow never shows up.
Yeah. So like this week, or this coming week, this is Sunday, December 17th. And I'm gonna put this out there today.
That's
I'll
fine.
try to do that. I'll try to roll these off and just put them out there. And again, like the people will see it and all that. And I don't care about them in
Yeah.
a bad way, but I don't care about them because
Right.
we're
It's
trying to
for
do,
us.
yeah, we're trying to do things. They can be a fly on the wall in our conversations. That's what they can do.
Host and ghost is what they say.
Yes. But like this next week, I'm going deer hunting with my son, Tuesday through possibly Thursday, depending on
Okay.
or not. So yeah, I could be back soon. Don't really know, but I'm gonna go out there and my thing this because I got to go work on Monday, and then we're gonna go Monday night over to the company property and try to kill a bunch of bambies. And I'm gonna try to eat just meat and drink just water.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hard to do because usually we have a beer or two every night, and alcohol is so. There you go, yeah, buddy. I got mine. It's upstairs.
I carry this everywhere.
People think you're weird, don't you? When you carry something
Yeah,
that
yeah,
big.
yeah. They're like, what are you drinking? I'm like, water.
Yeah.
And I'll put somewhat like those Mio, like,
Yep.
but it's just water.
Water.
And I've been carrying this thing around for 2 years, and it's just water.
Yeah.
And I'll have a coffee in the morning, and I started the coffee pot, so I'll take a coffee with me to work.
Yep.
And that's it. Like I don't drink sodas. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't drink alcohol at all, just because I wasn't raised around it. So it's just water and coffee.
Dude, that you were so far ahead of everybody else trying to do this. Like I'll have a beer, but I don't usually keep beer in the house.
Yeah.
I'll have a drink on, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas, stuff like that. Social events like my company
Right.
has started sending me to Spain, and they drink kind of beer at like every meal.
Yeah.
It's like part of the meal, so it's somewhat impolite to kind of go, no, I'm drinking. So anyway, but what I try to do when it's just me is I try to go, okay, I'm not going to do this thing. So for me, it's gonna be like, all right, this next week, I'm gonna eat just meat while I'm out hunting, and I'm gonna drink just water. I'm gonna see how that goes. It's gonna be not fun, but it'll be all right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not working out either, so like
Right.
I'll be moving around the woods, but it's not going to be
you'll be walking around and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not going to put myself on the back foot this week by doing these other things.
Right.
That put me on a back foot. So that's what my week looks like coming up, and then obviously end of the weekend is Christmas and Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving, Christmas and
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Same day.
Same thing.
Yeah, mine's just go to work, come home. I'll probably go to the gym tonight. If I don't make it to the gym tonight, I'll just go walk around the neighborhood. But it's something.
I started seeing a lot into this zone 2 thing, and I'm really kind of. I think that's a big thing that I was missing before when
right. And they say if you can walk or ride a bicycle or whatever, cardio, but you're still able to have a conversation. I think you sent that to me where you can have a conversation
Yep.
and not be winded,
Yep.
you do
You're in the zone.
There's substantial benefits as opposed to running 15 miles and getting just annihilated.
And that depends. Okay. So like your zone 2 would be different than mine and such.
Right.
So at what pace we're able to do that is determined by your conversation. So if you're
Right.
able to have a conversation, however fast you're going, walking or running, then you can do that. Like marathon runners, I assume, running an 8-minute mile can probably have a conversation. So for them,
Right.
It works, but I couldn't do that.
Right. Yeah. Not
like
even close.
if I can hit a 12-minute mile, I'm gassed, but I can do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that conversation thing, Mike Metzler talks about it. And then there's been a few other people I've seen talk about it. But that zone 2 thing, I know I was missing that early this year. I was doing a lot of sprinting, a lot of like high intensity stuff. I was missing the zone 2. So I'd get on the bike and I'd be riding it as hard as I could, and I'd just get gassed. And I was like, what the heck is going on, man? I'm not super overweight. I mean, I've always been kind of overweight, but I'm not like, way outside the spectrum for me. And I just get gassed. I don't understand why. And it's because I wasn't working that slow twitch cardiovascular, which is the boring cardiovascular, the sitting on the bike for an hour a couple times a day or going for a walk or whatever, So that if we're as we're pushing into this, I would highly recommend that we focus. Probably number 2 on the list needs to be zone 2.
Oh, for sure.
First needs to be sleep. Like sleep's always one.
Right. And I've always heard you can't make abs, and the abs are made in the kitchen.
Yep.
It all depends on what you eat. Is probably the most important thing that you can do.
Yeah, and Carnivore Month is coming up in January.
I'm down.
Maybe we can be down for doing a Carnivore Month like that. I have a hard time believing that it's the best way to go as a lifestyle. I see that demolished. But yeah, as a lifestyle, like a whole-time lifestyle, I have a hard time with that because there's a lot of other good things in plants. And if you are doing high-intensity work and you're at the right body composition, I think that carbs can work better for you for the activity you're doing. If you think of food as fuel, and stop thinking of it as purely as this yummy thing.
As enjoyment.
Right. And you start getting away from that, what has caused an addiction, I think, certainly in my life. And I think you're kind of in there as well. It's just it's bad relationship with food. So if we get that away from that, we go, all right, what am I fueling right now with this, whatever potato I'm eating, right? And if you can't go, oh, there's this thing coming up, this sprint, this whatever, high intensity workout, then probably it's not the right time to eat it. And that's where Carnivore Month, I think, can help a lot of people, especially coming off of the standard American diet, which is funny, but the acronym is SAD.
Over the holidays, yeah.
Yeah, and then holidays too, yeah. Because obviously you go to family get-togethers, whatever, and somebody's going to say, here, man, for me, they'll be, here, have a beer. And I'll be like, oh, okay,
Okay, right.
Yeah, here's a cookie, I made for Christmas for you and mom. And
okay.
So you kind of have to get away from that. So January being Carnivore Month, I think is fantastic. So right now I'm not purely carnivore, but I think it would do that in January would be really helpful.
I'm down. And you saw that thing that Dana White did where he did like a 80-hour water fast?
Yeah, you sent that to me. I was like, what is this? It's impressive. So how was that?
Dude, it's wild.
Okay, so
all I did was drink water. That was it. I didn't have any coffee.
Nothing. Just
water. And I got some headaches from caffeine withdrawals.
Wow. All right.
But I'm just like, it's fine because in 83 hours, I can have coffee again.
Okay. Yep.
Like there is an expiration date.
Yes.
Right. Like,
yes. Not
a time frame. I probably dropped 7 to 10 pounds. Just drinking water.
So what was it like the first 24 hours?
It wasn't bad. So I have done extended fasts before.
Okay.
So this isn't like I've never fasted before. Let me do 80 hours and it's a leap. But 24 hours, it's fine. Towards the end, I started to go, okay, I'm getting a little hungry. Like
Got
it's
it.
probably time to start eating something.
So let's see, how many days is that? It was like 4 days, right? No,
Pretty
5 days.
close. Let's see. How many days? Thank God for these, right?
Right. Remember when we didn't have those?
Let's just do this. 80. Let's just do it 80 divided by 24. It's
Hey,
3.3 days. So it's 3.5 days.
it's not bad. Okay, so
No,
what were you hungry at certain times and then
no.
just
I was all right. And then day three, I was like, ooh.
like, yeah, I need to eat something.
Right, right. And
Okay.
it was fine because it was getting towards the end of it anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you,
Uh,
ideas, as we talk, right? Well, maybe that's how we can lead into carnivore month.
that's what I was going to say. Was after Christmas we do
Yeah.
a 3.5, 4 day, depending on when you start, right? So
Right.
if you start at night,
Okay.
you could actually get extra hours in because you'll be sleeping anyway.
Right. So you don't have a meal at an evening, or you have a last meal at the evening.
I don't know. We'd have to figure that out, right? But like, let's
Okay.
say you eat lunch.
Right.
That would probably be the thing to do. You eat lunch because in, let's say, 3.5 days.
Yeah, that puts you.
No, you'd have to.
Let's both look at this
Yeah,
guy like, what? Oh,
it'd be like breakfast or like a brunch, right? You'd eat something like in the morning
yeah,
towards
mid morning.
noon, right? And then
Yeah.
3.5 days you're sleeping while the fast is over.
Yep.
So then when you wake up, you've accumulated some extra hours.
So almost 4 days, basically.
Yeah,
So maybe we do that leading right into the first, right? So
I'm
like wake
down.
up January 1st and you have like this 20-ounce ribeye, and that starts carnivore month right there.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll 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 just start up another Zoom thing and grill our steaks together.
Yeah. So what we'll do the next Zoom, what's today, the 17th? Yeah. So the next Zoom will be, right before Christmas, right? So
Okay. Yeah,
we'll
you want to do Saturday?
yeah, Saturday would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. So like today's Sunday, obviously, yeah. So Saturday would be good. I'll have been back from my trip. If you try to hit like your at least do something every day,
Yeah.
that's gonna be good. I've got to do zone 2 today because I worked my trying to build muscle again. I need to recover from that stress from the last 2 days.
That 15 or 18 you did?
Yeah, I did whatever it was 2 days
16
ago.
or something?
It was like 16.3 strain on the total strain on the day Friday.
Yeah, there it is.
Friday, yeah. Yeah, 18. That was a lot. Yeah, and then I think it was like 16 yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got to recover from that. But you do zone 2 while you're recovering. So that's the thing is like whenever we recover, we got to think we still do zone 2. We still got
You
to
gotta do something.
Yeah, you got to do something. 10,000 steps, that whole idea of getting to that or somewhere in there is good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that today. I got to get some stuff prepped for going on this hunting trip. But and then tomorrow I'll do another. I'll try to get up to around that 18 kind of strain, and then hunting. I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's wherever.
Yeah, that's
yeah, and then Friday coming back, I'll do another high thing. So that's what my week's gonna look like.
Oh yeah.
And then what do you think you can do? You can definitely do like a walk a day. Like
Yeah, easy.
it will happen.
And then I'll be going to the gym
Okay.
for an hour or so.
Okay. It takes me about an hour to do my workouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good little.
I've got this app. Where is it? There's so many apps on here. It's called Workout, is what it's called.
Okay.
And I paid for it. It's like $70 for like a lifetime. But
Yeah, I see it.
It tells you what to do.
Right.
And then and then you can log like I did this amount of weight for this rep, this amount of weight for this rep. So you can actually keep track of improvements. And this one says it takes 40 to 80 minutes.
Yep.
So 30 sets, 8 different exercises. It looks like they're all supersets.
Supersets are good. They're really good. So when you're choosing a weight, I would recommend that you try to on every single last rep of that set, try to be at the point where you can't get it.
So I've heard different things about that. I've heard never go to failure every day.
Which is true, because if you have rest days, you wouldn't.
But it's like, don't do reps of, if you're, let's say you can do 12 and like,
Okay.
that's it.
Yep.
Do like 6 or 7. Do
Okay.
4 sets of 6 or 7.
Okay.
Because then you're not exhausting that muscle group for tomorrow.
See what
just in general, I guess is kind of how it was like, then then you're not spent.
Yeah, and that, I think there's some value to that. The volume then would have to be up.
Right.
I'm getting it.
But it's just, you just don't go to failure.
Yeah, and I have done that.
Yeah.
The classic, what is it? 12, 10, 8, 6, 4.
Mm-hmm. The pyramid.
Like yeah, that upside down pyramid.
Yeah.
That I remember when I was in the Marines. We did that. So it was 5 reps. We didn't even warm up. I mean, generally speaking, we didn't warm up. We'd go in and like do chest day, right? So everybody wants to start Monday chest day, right? That's how it goes.
Which is a weird thing in itself.
It is. I inverted it now for me. I do legs on Monday. Just
because no one's doing legs.
The thing that no one wants to do. Yeah. For me now it's back though. I hate doing back, but whatever. Anyway, so we do that and we do 12, 10, 8, 6, 4 on a bunch of different workout exercises. So we do flat bench, incline, decline, and we're doing all of that pyramid on all this stuff. So flat bench, incline, decline, flies, and then you do tricep extensions and skull crushers. Good grief, what else? Dips, weighted dips. So you put a plate on your lap, between 2 benches. I mean, dude, we'd spend 2.5 hours in the gym, just in the middle of the day in our camis. And then we go back. The unit I was with, I did my own thing. So I didn't have like kind of people that had to have me back where I was. Anyway, it was semi-special for a little bit of time. So it was kind of nice, but doing that type of rhythm, you're right. You can't be spent every day because you'll come in on Tuesday or Wednesday and your workout sucks. So doing what you're talking about can work.
It was very interesting. They're like, yeah, don't go to failure. Like, you have no reason to go to failure. You're not trying to kill yourself.
Yeah. So that's where, I don't know. I hear these guys, like Mike Messler will tell you, go to failure. He's like, work out 3 hours a week, total. He's got some interesting thoughts on it, but he also has some other weird stuff. He's like, I'll build muscle even eating just sugar. I'm like, I don't know that that's true.
I don't know if you can though.
Right. I doubt it. But he's Mike Messler, he was number 2 in 1980 for Mr. Olympia, only behind Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
right. So you kind of go, maybe you can, but I don't know if it's worth.
Yeah. Well, he was also on steroids. So
even said, that too.
He's like, look, in this workout, no steroids, and he goes into it. You're like, okay, well, maybe that helped.
Whatever. Well, okay, you're right. You weren't taking steroids; you were taking human growth hormone.
Yes. You go for the guy in the gym who just looks jacked. You're like, dude, what's your secret? And he's like, D-ball. What? D-ball's no, D-ball, boy. Let me tell you what. You get on some D-ball, it'll mess your life up. It's
I bet.
Pretty violent stuff, but. Anyway, cool. So we got next week set up. That's good. Yeah, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right.
Time on our Zoom here.
No worries.
Down, but whatever.
Cool.
I'll post this up. The world will make fun of us or not.
Yes. It won't just be Aaron. Yeah. Are you the Aaron?
Are you the Aaron? Yeah. So we'll get it out there. We'll get it out there, and maybe some fancy people will chime in at some point. Maybe Ben Barker at some point will get on our little Fat Kids Race show.
Won't even read them.
No, that's true. He won't.
Post and ghost.
Whatever, man. That's cool. We'll just do this every week, and then in a year when we look back on all these podcasts, we'll be like, remember back then?
Yeah, we haven't changed at all.
Let's not do that. That would be
yeah, right.
All right, buddy. I know you got to.
All right, it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, man. Same to you. Hey, I appreciate that song. You're going to see it show up here.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got in his ass about it.
No, I appreciate that. That'll. I think it'll be an intro to this whole thing. Like we'll get a section of it.
when we're done with this, I got something crazy to tell you.
All right. All right, cool.
So,
Let me end the recording so these weird people can get off here. See how I can do this.
hey, don't fart.
I can't do it.
No, your shirt.
Oh yeah. Don't fart when you're doing the old squat because it's not gonna end well.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Thanks for talking.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.